On our wedding day, a woman appeared suddenly. She slapped me, yelling, "He's mine." My husband froze in shock. Stood there later. Husband deeply regretted everything. I'm Rachel, 30 years old. Today is my wedding day with Ken. The ceremony went smoothly, and we're now at the reception. I'm so happy. Everyone seems to be enjoying the food. Yeah. That's what matters. I met Ken at a group dating event. He's a sales rep at a decent company and earns a fair amount. He's kind, considerate, and thoughtful. You could say he's the ideal guy. I'm savoring my happiness for marrying such a wonderful man. I thought this day would end peacefully. Suddenly, I felt a sharp impact on my cheek. Ouch. What are you doing? A woman I didn't know was standing there. I thought she might be a guest from Ken's side, but I didn't see her when I walked around the tables earlier. Judging from the surprised look on the staff at the entrance, she must have just entered. It's only natural I do this. By the way, who are you? I asked Ken, who is standing next to me. Who is this? Lily, why are you here? What? Do you know her? She's my ex-girlfriend. Your ex? Why would your ex show up at a wedding? You weren't even invited, were you? Of course not. But I'm here to take Ken back. Excuse me? Because Ken swore to me last night. Last night? You two met yesterday? I was in disbelief at what I was hearing. What are you talking about, Lily? Don't act like you don't know. You promised me last night that you leave Rachel for me. That's not true. Ken, is this true? She's been pestering me to get back together for months. I told her to leave me alone. That's not what you said. You say, you'd think about it. If I made one last attempt to win you over, I only agreed to dinner to shut her up. Dinner? On the eve of our wedding? It wasn't just dinner. She kept pushing, and we ended up at a bar afterward. And then, she got drunk and wouldn't leave. She threatened to harm you if I didn't stay with her. That's not true. You said you still have feelings for me. That was a lie to calm you down. So you spent the night with her? I had no choice. And now this? Staff, could you please escort this woman out? I'm not leaving. The one who should leave is Rachel. Excuse me? I'm his wife now. Lily, stop this. I won't let you forget about last night, Ken. Last night? Ken told me he was out drinking with friends. Ken and I are married, but haven't moved in together yet. The handover of our new apartment won't happen until after the wedding, so I wasn't able to see what Ken was really up to last night. He spent the entire night with me. On the night before our wedding? It's not what you think. She kept threatening me. I only stayed to protect you. Protect me? That's not what happened. He told me he loves me. Enough of this nonsense. Staff, please remove her. Yes, ma'am. I'll never accept this. Ken, is this the kind of drama you're bringing into our marriage? Rachel, listen. I don't want to hear it right now. What a disaster of a wedding day. But this was just the beginning. After the chaos of the wedding day, I thought things would settle down. But life had other plans for me. A few days later, Ken started coming home late, claiming he was busy with work. Welcome back. I'm home. Sorry it's late. You've been working overtime again? Yeah. The new project at work is hectic. I see. I wanted to trust him, but something fell off. His excuses were vague, and he avoided talking about specifics. So what exactly is so busy at work? Does it matter? I just want to relax at home, not talk about work. I'm just trying to make conversation. Well, don't. Fine. Have you eaten dinner? I ate during overtime. You could have told me. I didn't have time to message you. It was frustrating. I had prepared dinner, only for it to go uneaten. I began questioning whether his overtime was real. Then one day, I noticed his paycheck. The overtime pay didn't match the hours he claimed to work. Could he really be lying again? I tried to dismiss the thought, but doubt lingered. A few days later, I received an unexpected message on my phone. It was from someone I didn't know. Cautiously, I opened the chat. Leave Ken. The message was from a woman named Sarah. She wasn't Lily. This was someone else entirely. My stomach turned. Sarah? Who's Sarah? I glanced at Ken, who had just come out of the bath. The bath feels amazing. I'll take my bath now. I didn't confront him yet. Sarah's message was enough to confirm my suspicions. She must have had access to Ken's phone to get my number. This wasn't something I could address impulsively. Later that evening, my phone buzzed incessantly. Sarah has sent dozens of messages, all hateful and threatening. Ken doesn't love you. He only stays with you out of pity. We're in love, and you're in the way. The texts were relentless. I decided to ignore them, knowing Sarah was like the unstable. Still, her obsession was concerning. Days turned into a week. Every night, Ken came home late, and Sarah's messages continued. Finally, one evening, Ken returned home. Welcome back. I'm home. I'm going to bed. Wait, what? You've been distant lately. Can you blame me? You snap at me when I ask about work. I'm starting to wonder why we got married. Oh, don't say that. I love you, Rachel. Do you? Maybe you'd be happier with one of your other cute girls. No way. You're the one I love. You're amazing at cooking. You keep the house nice. That sounds more like a housekeeper than a wife. Ken's words only made me feel worse. Meanwhile, Sarah's messages grew more erratic. Ken hasn't seen me for days because of you. He keeps lying about working late. You're ruining our relationship. Her desperation was clear. It seemed Ken was trying to distance himself from her. But I couldn't ignore her any longer. A few days later, something unexpected happened. Just as I was contemplating how to address this mess, there was a knock at the door. I opened it to find none other than Lily standing there. Lily? What are you doing here? I just thought I'd stop by. I figured you want to know something. And what's that? My relationship with Ken isn't over. Excuse me? Even after the wedding, he's been coming to see me. My heart sank, but I kept my composure. Uh-huh. Is that so? Oh, and there's one more thing. I'm pregnant with Ken's child. I see. Congratulations, I suppose. That's all you have to say? What else is there to say? If it's true, I'll step aside. But I want a proper conversation about this first. Fine. Name the time and place. I'll let you know. Lily looked smug as she left, but I had no intention of letting her win. Her arrival was, in fact, an opportunity. I decided to set a trap to finally expose the truth. A few days later, I invited both Lily and Sarah to meet at a cafe. I didn't tell them the other would be there. And of course, I brought Ken along too. Sorry to keep you waiting. Rachel and Ken? What's he doing here? Oh, I thought it'd be good for all of us to have a little chat. Please, take a seat. Both women looked uneasy as they sat down. Let's start with introductions. Lily, you already know Ken from your previous adventures. And Sarah, you're the woman who's been spamming me with messages. Ken? You said I was the only one. Oh, wait. Who's she? I'm Ken's girlfriend, obviously. Excuse me? I'm the one having his baby. As expected, chaos erupted. The two women started arguing, throwing accusations at each other. Enough. Ken care to explain? I out with it. Look, Lily was about physical compatibility, and Sarah, well, she has a great figure. That's all I am to you? What about me? I'm sorry, okay? Rachel, you're the one I actually love. How touching. Unfortunately, I'm done. Here's the divorce paperwork. What? No. I don't want a divorce. What? Kent, you said you'd leave her for me. And he told me the same thing. Ladies, I'm afraid you're both wasting your time. I'm stepping away from this circus, but I'll let you fight over him. Best of luck to you both. I stood up and left, leaving them to argue among themselves. That day, I finally felt free. Ken tried to stop me, but I didn't look back. After leaving the cafe, I felt a mix of relief and exhaustion. Finally, I was taking a step toward reclaiming my life. But of course, the drama wasn't over yet. A few days later, I received a call from Ken. What do you want, Ken? Rachel, what did you do? My apology video from the wedding is everywhere. Oh, that? I told you at the wedding, didn't I? If you ever cheated again, I'd make sure the world knew. In reality, I had informed the wedding guests about the situation. Many of them supported me and shared the video online. It spread faster than I expected, even making it to online news outlets. Thanks to you, I lost my job. That's hardly my fault. You're the one who ruined your reputation. But now, I have nothing. You got Lily and Sarah. Maybe they can help you out. They both dumped me. Dumped you? As soon as I lost my job, they both left. Turns out they only cared about my money. I see. And yet, you expect me to feel sorry for you? Rachel, please. I love you. Spare me. You loved me so much you cheated multiple times. That's all in the past. Let's start over. But not a chance. Find someone else to tolerate your mess. I hung up the call feeling nothing but resolve. Ken's downfall was entirely his doing, and I had no intention of being his safety net. Meanwhile, my own life was finally settling down. I started to embrace my new independence. No more lies, no more drama, just peace and quiet. A few weeks later, I received one last message from Lily. I guess you won. I didn't bother replying. Winning? That wasn't the point. I simply chose myself over a toxic marriage. Now it's time to enjoy this new chapter of my life, alone, but stronger than ever. The past may have been painful, but it taught me to stand tall, and that's exactly what I'll do. Don't worry about it, really. So how are things? Are you two getting along well? My son isn't causing you any trouble, is he, Jillian? Is something wrong? It seemed like she was asking something. May I speak? I was instructed by you not to do anything without your permission, so I'm simply carrying that out. My name is Jillian. I live as a housewife with my husband, Michael. We met at a workplace party and were quickly drawn to one another. After a year of dating, we got married. Per Michael's request, I became a stay-at-home wife. That's when Michael's true nature began to reveal itself. He turned out to be an incredibly old-fashioned man. Hey. I'm home. Welcome back, yeah, right? Do I have to tell you to take my jacket off for me? It's obvious, isn't it? In this day and age, who still expects their spouse to remove their jacket for them? Maybe on an old sitcom, but not in real life. Hey, do we have any snacks? Snacks? How many times do I have to say it? It's a wife's job to always have snacks ready for her husband's drinks. Here. What's this? Fried calamari? It was on sale at the supermarket. You like fried food, don't you? That's not the point. I'm asking why my hard-working self has to come home to half-price supermarket junk. I'm sorry. You got it easy. All you do is lounge around the house all day. Meanwhile, I'm exhausted from working every single day. The least you can do is perfectly carry out what I ask of you. Otherwise, what's the point of a stay-at-home wife like you? What's the point? I cook. I clean. Enough excuses. Just answer me, yes. Tomorrow, I have an early site inspection. At what time? I'll have to leave by 4 a.m. 4 in the morning? What's with the face? You hate that your husband is so busy. I didn't say that. Do you not get that it's my hard work that lets you live your lazy life? That's not what I meant. I have breakfast ready for me. I don't eat leftovers, understood? Every morning, if breakfast wasn't freshly prepared or his clothes weren't ready, Michael would explode. On top of that, I had to make his lunch, leaving me with little rest. Still, I was grateful that he worked so hard to support me. I tried to accommodate his requests as much as I could, but my kindness only made his demands escalate. One day during a weekend, Michael was lounging on the sofa on his phone. I was in the kitchen, making myself some coffee. Hey. Do you want coffee? Coffee? Yeah. It's from a friend. I tried it the other day. It's delicious. What? You drank it without asking me? What? I'm asking if you drank that coffee without my permission. Michael turned to me, his face red with anger. What do you mean? You're my wife. How dare you indulge in luxuries like coffee without asking me? You don't have that right. Are you serious? It's just coffee. If I say so, it's no. And another thing, did you just ask if I also wanted coffee? Yes, I did. So I'm an afterthought now. You think your freeloading self deserves more than me? That's not what I meant. It's exactly what you meant. I'm the one supporting you and you treat me like an accessory? You better know your place. That's it. From now on, whenever I'm lying on the couch, you'll stand next to me. Stand next to you? Why should I do that? I'm your wife, not your maid. I appreciate that you work hard for us, but this isn't what a healthy marriage looks like. A healthy marriage? What would you know about marriage? All you know is housework. This isn't normal. You just need to do what I say. Don't do anything without my permission, and throw out those coffee beans. I don't want any gifts from those dumb neighbors. Before I could respond, the doorbell rang. Michael barked at me to answer it, so I went to the door. Standing there were Michael's parents. Unlike Michael, they were stern yet understanding people, always polite and reasonable. Sorry for showing up unannounced. We were in the area and thought we'd stop by to chat. I hesitated. Michael's words echoed in my head. Don't do anything without my permission. Jillian, is everything okay? Oh, Mom? Dad? Michael came out of the living room, surprised to see them. What a rare visit. May I let them in, sir? What are you talking about? Of course, let them in. Michael smiled at his parents. He even complimented me on keeping the house clean, though he'd yelled at me about it just yesterday. Jillian, why don't you serve that coffee we got from the neighbors? I can't. Why not? You told me to throw it out because, and I quote, it's from those dumb neighbors. What? I never said that. An awkward silence filled the room. Jillian, is my son giving you trouble? I glanced at Michael, who looked uncomfortable. May I speak freely, sir? Stop calling me that. With his reluctant permission, I decided to tell his parents everything. Michael treats me like a servant. He says things like, you don't get to speak back because I provide for you. He demands freshly cooked meals, and I must wake up before him to prepare them. On weekends, I'm expected to stand by his side and wait on him. That's not true. Actually, I have proof. I took out my phone and played recordings of Michael's outburst. You think you can drink coffee without my permission? You're nothing without me. On my days off, stand by my side at all times. Michael's parents sat in stunned silence as the recordings played. How dare you treat your wife this way? Before Michael could respond, his father's fist connected with his face. I didn't raise you to be this way. How? What are you talking about? You're still jealous of your sister, aren't you? Michael's sister, Emily, was an accomplished doctor and now held an executive position in a top company. Michael had always felt overshadowed by her success. This insecurity seemed to fuel his resentment toward women. Shut up. You've always favored Emily. His father shook his head in disappointment. You've twisted yourself into this bitter, entitled person. If you can't treat Jillian with respect, we'll cut ties with you. Michael's pride shattered, and he begrudgingly agreed to sign the divorce papers. He muttered bitterly about losing the only person who truly cared for him. Meanwhile, I felt a newfound sense of freedom as I stepped into my new life. I found work at a cafe opened by my kind neighbors and began building a happy, independent future.